is up, my friends? Chef Shaun O'Neale, winner of MasterChef Season 7 and author of the cookbook My Modern American Table, and I'm back once again for some more Platinum Grilling with Pit Boss. Today we are back on the Pit Boss Platinum 1250, available exclusively at Walmart, and we're gonna whip together a beautiful little lamb dish right now. First thing we need to do though is get our grill turned on. We're gonna set it to 225 degrees. All right, now that our grill is set to a perfect smoking temperature of 225 degrees, let's load up the hopper with some pecan pellets. Gonna give a great woody, nutty, sweet, delicious flavor to this lamb. Next thing we need to do is start working on our lamb. So we're gonna start seasoning this up. We are using the brand new competition barbecue blend from Pit Boss. It's garlic, paprika, and onion, and it is delicious. It's available online now, so definitely check that one out. We're gonna add this to a little bit of rosemary and thyme that I've already chopped up, because rosemary and thyme are the perfect blend for lamb. So we're gonna do about a 50-50 blend. You won't use all this, but you can definitely put it in an airtight container and store it. The salts in the Pit Boss seasoning will dry out that rosemary and thyme, so it will be shelf stable for probably about at least a month. So we'll give this a nice little mix in here, make sure everything is fully incorporated. And then we'll start seasoning up our lamb fairly liberally, but not over seasoned. So we'll just sprinkle it on the top, making sure that we get everything nice and covered. Give it a little pat. And then you'll notice we've got some seasoning around our board, right? So let's utilize that. Let's just roll our lamb right onto it, kind of push that seasoning down. Let's come over here on the sides and get all of that seasoning that we just made onto our lamb. So now that we've got that done, let's season up our other side, making sure it's nice and consistent, the same kind of thickness of seasoning all the way around. That way you'll get a nice, beautiful bark with a lot of delicious flavor. And then even up here, even though you're not going to eat this little muscle that's in between the bones, let's season it, right? Because that's fragrance. That will still help perfume the meat as it cooks. Give that a little pat. All right, so again, we'll roll it around, utilize all of that seasoning that's on our board. And we are going to go into the Pit Boss Platinum 1250. It's set to 225 degrees. And we're going to smoke this for probably about 45 minutes to an hour until you get an internal temperature of roughly 127 to 130, at which time we'll crank up the heat and we'll sear it off for a delicious medium rare. All right, we're gonna let that smoke for about 45 minutes or an hour, but mainly to 127 to 130 degrees internal temperature. Let's get this done. Now we've got our lamb tucked nicely away on our grill, smoking to an internal temperature of 127 to 130. Let's start making our Italian Salsa Verde. So it's basically just a salsa or a Italian chimichurri. It's a zesty, herby, salty, garlicky, delicious, delicious sauce. So we are starting with a little bit of parsley in the bowl. So we've got about probably half a cup to 3/4 cup of parsley. We're gonna add some capers, maybe about 2 tablespoons of capers. These are gonna be roughly chopped. Then we're gonna add a little bit of white wine vinegar. That will bring in some of our acidity. A little bit of olive oil. Our garlic, this is going to bring that beautiful garlicky flavor in. And then we've got lemon zest and juice from about a half a lemon, a large lemon. Pour that right in. And now for the scary ingredient. Everybody's going to be, what in the world's going on? So we're going to use a little bit of anchovy. So anchovy brings in a saltiness and a brininess, but I promise you, you will not taste the fishiness of the anchovy. We're only using one anchovy that has been minced very, very fine, so it's really just going to add a depth of flavor or an umami to this. And then we're going to add a little bit of crushed red pepper. All right, so we're gonna season this with just a touch of salt. Remember, we got the anchovies in there, we got the capers in there, so we've already got a salty aspect, and we're gonna give this a very, very good mix. It's a fairly dry salsa verde, so don't worry about it like swimming in oil or swimming in lemon juice. It should be a fairly dry mixture, and once you've got that fully incorporated, make sure you do a little bit more stirring, right? Because we put that anchovy in there, so you want to make sure that it's completely broken down, or then you might get that full bite of anchovy flavor. So once it is fully incorporated and nicely stirred, let's set this aside. We're going to wait for our lamb to smoke to that internal temperature we're looking for, and then we'll keep on going with the searing of the lamb, slicing of the lamb, and the most important part, the eating of the lamb. All right, guys, we just got our lamb on the smoker. We made our sauce. Let's go ahead and put a temperature probe that comes with every Pit Boss. Let's insert this into the lamb to make sure we can keep an eye of where that temperature is precisely. All right, we are at about 128 degrees internal temperature on our lamb, so we're going to remove it from the grill and crank up the heat so we can get a beautiful sear and a delicious crust. All right, guys, we are now at 435 degrees. That is one of the amazing aspects of the brand new LCD touchscreen on the Pit Boss Platinum 1250. You can actually control the heat by 5-degree increments, which is perfect for precision cooking. So we're gonna go ahead and sear off our lamb now, get a nice crust on there, and then it's time to let it rest and dig in. So with the convenience and ease of the oven style grill racks, if you do find that you need a little bit more space on the bottom rack of your grill, it's so easy just to pull these guys out, obviously with your hot mitts, and then hang it right on the back of the grill on the rack hanger. And now, since we've removed that rack, we can get a nice sear on the bottom of our lamb so it's crispy all around. All right, guys, what we have just done is called a reverse sear. We smoked it up to a perfect internal temperature, or right before a perfect internal temperature, and then we hit it hard with super high heat. One of the great things about the Pit Boss Platinum 1250 is the flame broiler lever right here. You can go from a nice smoke, and then you want to crank up the heat, open it up, and let that fire roar. Now we're going to let this lamb rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. General rule with cooking any kind of red meat is let your meat rest for as long as you cooked it for. Obviously, we're not going to take into account the smoking time, just the searing time. So let's rest this for between 5 to 10 minutes. We have smoked our lamb, we have seared our lamb, and we have rested our lamb. It is now time for the best part. It is time to eat the lamb, but the first thing we need to do is slice it off of its bones. Lamb can be a little tricky, but just take your time with it. Slice right on down through. We've got a beautiful medium here, little touch over the medium rare we were shooting for, but still an absolutely beautiful cook on this. Just keep on slicing, getting through your lamb chops here. Now we're getting into that better, beautiful medium rare right here in the center of this lamb. There we go. All right, now let's plate this dish up. Nice oval plate here. Some absolutely beautiful lamb chops. Now we're going to take our Italian Salsa Verde and just take that right down the middle, smear it out, drop it on there, just get it on there however you can. It is absolutely delicious. All right, guys, there you go. There we have our smoked, seared, and rested rack of lamb with Italian Salsa Verde. Let's give this a try. Time for my favorite part, digging in. Great acidity from the sauce that we created, and this Pit Boss competition barbecue seasoning really sets the tone for an amazing dish. As always, you can find this recipe and so many more on www.pitboss-grills.com. I'm Shaun O'Neale, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Platinum Grilling.